feel alone and we're in the shadows. And if you come out into the light and ask for help, then help will be given. Hey friends, Lori Michelle here with Choosing to Shine, and we have our special guest back. Gail is in the house. Woo woo, woo woo. So happy to have you back. So if you haven't been here before, she is our in-house money mindset specialist. I'm going to give her a specialist name. Even though she didn't tell me she was a specialist, that's what I'm going to call her. I'm also going to flip these cameras around real quick because that's the way I like it. And it's my podcast. I like you on the left.
I like me on the left too.
Yes, we're on the same page. Okay, so we're going to start out with one question, and then we're going to try to see if we can get Gail to answer the question in a money mindset answer.
Let's go.
Ready for the challenge? Oh, man. What is a funny skit that makes you giggle every time? Or what is a favorite meme that always makes you smile?
Well, I have menopause brain. I'm supposed to remember this shit.
The first thing I thought of, my mind went to, and I'm way past you in menopause, girl. So, yeah. But my mind went to, like a Saturday Night Live skit, and I was immediately trying to think of like something that was involved with money. Oh, I know. You know the two dancing foreign brothers from the 80s that used to be on the skit? And they'd go out to the club and they had all their gold on and they thought they were in the mindset, right? That they were like rich and they were in the club to get the chicks and they were just absolutely like doing their own thing. I think that's a good skit.
Is that the one with Will Ferrell and where they're, I can't remember they were like bouncing between, like Christina Applegate was in the middle of them?
Yeah, they've done that skit like over and over. They've had different people. Yeah. And then the girl is just like, what is happening?
That is pretty funny. I don't know it other than that like clip. So I don't know if anything I have to say is going to be relevant to it. But I do remember that skit and it being, or at least that like clip of the skit and it being hysterical.
Yeah.
But I mean, we could relate it to, I mean, obviously they were kind of tools,
right?
And they were overly inflated, but isn't that really what we need to do before we get there?
That's what made me think of it. It's like, you got to fake it till you make it, right?
Yep. You got to fake it till you make it. And maybe not quite as aggressively or as douchey, but.
I almost spit out my hot tea. Yeah, good point, Gail. Good point. Maybe not as aggressively, but yeah, let's get our mindset there. And I'm going to have to find that clip and post it on Instagram because, yeah, that was really funny.
Who else did they have in there? I only know the Christina Applegate one.
Gosh, now I got to look.
Because, I mean, I didn't watch Saturday Night Live mostly because I was at the bar. I was a bartender, so I was just always, I missed all that stuff. You know, people with day jobs would talk about like, you know, the shows they watched, and I just never got to watch TV. So
yeah,
I was busy bartending.
The Roxbury guys.
Roxbury, yeah.
Yeah, played by Will Ferrell and Chris Kattan. Another classic pair of dancing brothers from older eras of the show. Looks like that was like a playoff of something that was called the Best Trunk Brothers, which Oh, okay. I didn't know that was a remake from another Saturday Night Live skit that had Steve Martin and Dan Aykroyd. So that's interesting.
Also funny gentleman. Steve Martin is really funny.
Yeah, love Steve Martin. So I'm just going to turn the sound down because I don't know if I get in trouble for playing a YouTube video on YouTube. So let's just see if we can get up a skit really quick. Let's see if this works. Probably not. Oh, of course it's making me watch ads. Get your money, people. So I guess Gail and I are just winging it as usual here today. That's kind of the whole vibe here, and I cannot get that up. So we will post that later. Forgot to light my candle as usual.
I just wanted to say thank you for our last conversation. It was awesome. I had so much fun, and I was wondering. I also wanted to thank you for being so vulnerable and just kind of sharing your background and just some of the things you went through and like mindsets and stuff. But I was wondering if there was any takeaways or any reframes that you've been able to come up with since we talked.
Absolutely. So I actually had a conversation with a good friend of mine, and she said she had watched the episode, and she's like, but what has she actually done for you? Pointed question, right? And I was like, really, the reframing has been the biggest thing for me. So I've been wearing more jewelry. I have tons of jewelry. I just was in a place where I didn't care. I didn't want to put on lipstick. I mean, if you watch like my first probably 20 videos, I'm wearing no jewelry, no makeup. I didn't really care what I had on. I was just there to kind of talk through everything that was happening in my life. So mindset's been really big for me. And I actually talked about my therapist about our episode too, because right after our episode, my dryer went out and I had a complete meltdown because I was like, once again, where is this money coming from? You know? And I happened to talk to her the day after, and I said, I'm just having a really hard time. I'm spiraling a little bit. Like I was feeling so great. And then it was like, I felt like, why do I keep getting tested? And I've just worked so much overtime the last month because it's available and it hasn't been available. So I got sick. I was like in bed for 3 days. And just coming out of that, and then the dryer and the whole thing. So to come back to your question, she says, instead of saying, you've worked all this overtime and once again, I don't have any money. What if the dryer was already going to break, but now you have the money to pay for it? And I was like, that's what my friend Gail was trying to tell me. You're right. You're right. I gotta reframe those thoughts. I gotta get it. And so I was going to literally make it work without a dryer for like a month. I was like, I'm not comfortable spending the money. A friend of mine offered to like take my clothes back to her house and wash them or whatever, so I could continue working the overtime. And I was like, no, you know what? I have the money. More money is going to come in. I'm going to buy the dryer. Well, don't you want to get a used one? No, I don't want to get a used one. I want a new one. I don't want somebody else to smell in my clothes. Like I'm really like hypersensitive to smells. And I was like, I'm buying a new one. I'm ordering it from Costco. They're going to deliver it in a couple days. Like, I know if something's wrong with it, they'll come take it away and give me a new one. It's worth the extra couple $100. It's just not worth the hassle. I don't have to think about it ever again. If something happens, I call them, they come get it. So reframing for me has been huge. And just the simple tweak of wearing jewelry and wearing things that you actually like to work instead of just throwing on, because we're in a call center, right? Nobody cares what we look like. Instead of just putting on leggings and tennis shoes, like actually like feeling good about what you're wearing all day long, because I'm there for, almost 12 hours. It's like, it's just really a mindset. So that's the biggest takeaway that I've gotten from you and our talks together and watching you on Instagram. And I hope that others are getting the same thing. Like, I bought the dryer. My world's not crumbling. I still have money because I have worked the overtime. And I feel like in the spiritual community, it's like it has to be, you have to stay in that mindset. Well, no, I can be pissed off about my dryer breaking when I've been working so much overtime. I'm allowed to be pissed off. I'm allowed to have feelings. I don't have to stay in that feeling for a long time. So I think it's important to tweak that mindset. And also, the other thing I've been doing, which I haven't been doing for probably 9-10 months, is I started doing my budgets again. I want to tell my money where to go. I don't want it to tell me where to go. I'm done with that. So watch me go.
That's impressive. I mean, it's so funny, like one small thing, like just feeling better about yourself.
Yeah.
And instead of like, I've noticed like when I've done the same thing and just put whatever on, I didn't feel good about myself, or I was, whether it was like physically or emotionally, or I hated my job or whatever it was, if I made myself, because that's something that makes me feel better. Like you, I appreciate clothes and jewelry and makeup and all that stuff. To someone who doesn't appreciate that, that might not work, but for us, it works. So, we make ourselves look nice. And then I would show up, and instead of having my head down, literally and figuratively, I had my head up because I was like, I look good today. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Sorry, I said fuck again. And I was just like, and then all of a sudden opportunities show up. Like someone says hi to you that you wouldn't normally have spoken to, or you notice them talking, whether it's at a networking event or in the office, and you get promoted, or you get a new COI that starts referring business to you or introduces you to someone that does. And all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, it was literally because I made myself feel better that day.
Right.
Wild.
Exactly.
And the reframe you did on your dryer, that is impressive. That is a big purchase, whether it was $300 or $3,000. I mean, a home purchase is very stressful when it's not just a second thing, or you don't have a husband, or, somebody just paying for it for you, or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
It's stressful, especially when we're in the part of our life where money isn't just there. And you're in an upward trajectory, but you're still not to the point where it's like, it's $400, whatever. I'll be fine. Yeah. You're like, holy shit, it's $400. Okay. And then you have to talk yourself through it. When I first bought my house, I had to do that with every single purchase I had because it was so new to me. Yeah. Everything was new. And I find it like really empowering. Like you said, when you're starting your budget, that's really powerful that you were just, instead of just being like, okay, this happened, I have to react to it and I have to talk myself through it, because that happens and that's important. But now you're like, okay, that not only taught me a reframe and I feel more positive about the experience, but I also now it's given me the power to take control over the future stuff. Like that's really impressive. That is a lot. That's great.
Yeah. I know. And I'm proud of myself because every time I walk in there and my garage is like, I have to walk through there, I'm just like, yeah, I have the money to buy that. And if the washer goes out, next, then I have the money to do that too. But look at that. I bought that. I did that myself. I didn't have to borrow the money. I didn't have to ask somebody for the money. I didn't have to have a man, schedule delivers for me. And that's part of it too for me. I don't mind men doing things for me. I like that. That's my love language, is acts of service. But I've been I was married for 33 years. Plus we were together like another 5 years before that. So it was a long time of him like taking charge and doing everything. So when stuff like that happens, I just kind of freak out because I'm like, I've never had to deal with any of this house stuff before, you know? So yeah, just every time I walk by there, I'm like, I did that, you know, I worked my ass off. And look, I'm alive. I'm not, you know, and that's like part of the fear too. I think it's like for me, like my breathing gets really shallow and I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like I gotta have this person like go wash all my underwear now. And you know, I'm just like, no, no, that's not the way this is gonna go down. I'm choosing differently.
I feel like sometimes those things are sent to give us multiple opportunities. Like you got to reframe, you got to take your power back, and now you have the joy of seeing a brand new dryer and the security of knowing that Costco is going to just manage it. Costco is your
Yeah.
man in that situation.
Costco's my man. I like that.
And like, so now you get to like, you got, and you have proof that you can manage it, that you do have the money, that you do have the power, that you do have the responsibility or whatever comes up, because different situations come up with different, like, I can't manage that. I'm not a guy. I'm not smart enough. I'm not stable enough. Like whatever limiting belief comes up with different things for me. Yeah. With house stuff, it was, I'm not a man. I don't know what I'm doing. And I literally said that to the HVAC guy. And he was like, well, don't let my daughter hear you say that. And I was like, oh, great. Now I'm an asshole too. On top of being stressed out, not understanding anything this man is trying to tell me what to do. Now I'm an anti-feminist.
Nope, that's not what we meant at all.
Nope, I just don't want to deal with it. I'm not built for this.
I don't think I am either. It's like, I just want to make the money and have somebody else do it. I don't want to go there. But yeah, let's kind of continue on that theme because I think it's very, very important. And I think one of the things I was thinking about this morning is let's talk to our listeners in different stages of their life. So you pretty much got me way down here just dealing with everything for years, hurricanes, tornadoes, like you name it, like sicknesses, in bed, can't work, car wrecks, flat tires. Some days about a year ago, I was like, I don't even know what's the purpose here? Like, why am I being attacked? That's what it felt like. So let's talk so I think we already kind of went through me. So that's like, you know, I'm working my way up as we talked about last time you were here. But let's talk about like the next person who maybe does reframe, but they need to bump it up like another 1 to 5%. Let's talk to that person a little bit and then let's go to like the next level. Does that make sense what I'm trying to say?
I think so. I feel like, for example, like we were talking about, like, say, just your dryer, like the joy you get from that. And then the next step is like you said, if your washer goes, it's going to be instantaneous. That's the next level is, okay, well, I worked extra, like whatever. You're not going to spiral. You'll probably be pissed. You get to have your feelings. You let the feelings come through and just be like, okay, I'm going to have a 5-minute pity party. Or if it's bigger, you have a day pity party, or whatever you want to give yourself that, you know, like this amount of time I can feel my feelings and work through them. And then after that, I have to cut myself off or I'm just going to end up staying there and getting bitter and resentful. So you have to have that self-awareness. And that's what you get in those lower level moments. You get the self-awareness of what not to do and what to do so that you can still not stuff your feelings out, because they're going to come out at some point. They're just going to be bigger and louder and more obnoxious to deal with. So on those lower levels, you get those like foundations of, okay, well, now my washer went out. Okay, well, this sucks. I'm going to have a pity party for the rest of the day. And then I'm going to go get a spa treatment, or I'm going to go buy myself something. I'm going to cry, or whatever your pity party mojo is. And then, you know, the next day you get up and you're like,
let's pause there for a minute. Pity party mojo. Okay. I feel like we need like a t-shirt or something that says pity party mojo. All right. Keep going. Yourself.
Well, after your pity party mojo, the next step would be okay, so your dryer goes out, or you get a flat tire again, or whatever, or you do something nice for yourself and it doesn't go to your expectations. Like, let's say you get your bathroom floor put in and it's not quite right, or you have to have it redone, or the tile comes cracked and you have to, like, instead of spiraling this time, your nervous system is more regulated in those uncomfortable surprise kind of conversations and situations where you can just talk yourself through it much quicker. You don't waste nearly as much time, which means you're not wasting money. You're not making poor decisions. You're not giving up as easily. And then you're moving through it so much quicker and so much faster with so much more stability and power that it's kind of a blip, instead of it being a week-long conversation with your therapist or your coach or whoever it is that you're talking to, and then having to like come up with all of these scenarios. Like, I always called myself a fatalist. Like, before I did any work on myself, as I reflected, I was like, oh my gosh, every time anything inconvenient happened, it was like the worst case scenario. I had to tell everyone and everything. And like, oh my gosh, you're not going to believe what he said. You're not going to believe what happened. And it was like, okay, you hit a red light. Like, it was almost so inconsequential that it was like, really? And it was embarrassing to look back on how I behaved, but it was big to me because I had no control over anything.
Right.
So each level I went up, I was gaining more stability. I was gaining more nervous system regulation. I was gaining more knowledge about how I worked and what worked for me and what didn't. And, sometimes failure was feedback where I ended up spiraling again. I'm like, okay, well, that one, now we know not to do that again. And so, each level you just keep taking, what's the word I'm looking for? Just taking, I can't think of the word I'm looking for. Menopause again. But you just keep taking, whatever the word is, and you keep thinking like, okay, this worked, this didn't, this sort of worked. If I was managing this part of this situation better, then this solution actually would have worked. So then you make your decisions based on that. And then the next time something happens, it's just smaller and smaller. And then you're shifting your mindset to not freak out. And then on the other decisions, when you're looking for jobs, spending your money, making your budgets, making business decisions, you're not going, well, I need an emergency fund because something bad always happens to me. Instead, you're like, listen, if something happens, I have a credit card, I'm good. This is going to grow my business, or this job is a risk, but it's my dream job, or whatever it is. And you make those decisions based on the fact that you can manage anything because you've proven it. So even if the shit does hit the fan and you do spiral and have a pity party, then you know that you're going to come out of it fine because you've already been there, done that, and you managed it. And you're still, like you said, I didn't die. Like, There it is. That's my one from before, from The Hangover, when he like rolls down the window and he's like, he's like, whatever Brad, what's his name says. And he's like, did you die? He's like, I got shot. And he's like, but did you die?
Yeah, that's a good meme.
That's a good one. And
that's
it's like,
a good one.
I mean, okay, but I can't argue with that. You're right. I'm up and walking and healthy, and I did get shot, but I'm good. So you got shot, but you can manage it again. And you know that no matter if you end up back in your mustard sandwich era, you'll be fine. You'll get right back out of it, and you'll get out of it a lot quicker, a lot faster, with a lot more, with more, probably not only a quicker trajectory upward, but much more money in it.
Yeah. So let's go back a year ago, Lori, and to the listener who is in such a dark place that they have a hard time reframing. So let's give some like ultra simple tips of how to come out of that mindset, because it's very, very hard and it's very constant.
It is very hard. I spent 3 days suicidal in 2021. I had just gone through a horrific tragedy and then was dealing with the after effects of an angry human who was having survivor's guilt. Like, just so much bullshit was going on.
Yeah.
And I was trying to grow my career, and I was trying to grow my career without the mindset to do so. So I was fighting myself constantly. And I was finally making money. And did I tell you this story already?
I'm not sure.
Well, I was finally making money and the guy refused to pay me. So I ended up
Oh,
having
yes.
Okay.
We talked about that the first time we talked. Mm-hmm.
So in that 3 days was probably the worst I've ever been. I've had bad days, obviously, where I was like, I mean, I had one recently where I was like, I don't even know why I'm here. Like, why am I here? Like, not suicidal, but just like, what's the point?
Right.
Like, I don't see a point. Like, there's things that I know I can do to help people isn't clicking, or my day-to-day isn't working for me, or whatever it is. And you just are kind of like, what am I even doing here?
Yeah.
And on those really, really, really low moments, whether it's suicidal or just, it's just a constant barrage of negativity. What helped me, one of the main things that helped me was gratitude. I have a whole course about it. And it's literally kind of like grasping at straws. You're like, there were days when I was like, okay, and I had to do it the other day. Okay, my bed is the most comfortable bed in the world. I have always wanted a king bed, and I finally had the money to buy it. I got it on clearance, and is what it is, but it's still a great bed that I love every day. And I have enough money to pay for putting my air conditioning down to 68 because I'm in menopause. Like, I just keep going through whatever. I don't care. Like, I just bought a new sheet or whatever it is.
Yeah.
The tiniest little thing. Like, I woke up today. Like, I have great hair. Like, I just had enough money to get my eyebrows done. Like, whatever, the littlest thing that you can come up with.
Yeah.
Even if it's just, I have a pair of shoes that are my favorite shoes. I need to go look at them and hold them because they always make me happy. Whatever it is, in those really low moments, you have to commit to just not sitting there. It's really, really hard, as you know.
Yeah.
It's really hard. So you just go find your favorite crystal or your favorite pair of shoes, or you go sit on your favorite couch. And whatever, it's a Kundalini citrine.
Ooh, pretty.
Yes.
This is just a little rose quartz. It's one of those that has the little thumb indentation on it. So
Worry stone.
Very, very tactile. Yeah, when I'm stressed, helps me.
Love it.
Yeah. But yeah, I resonate with all of that because yeah, that's where I was. Like I mentioned, the last 5 years has been really, really tough. The last year, well, post hurricane has been extremely, extremely hard. I'm just like, if I live through this, like, I can get through anything almost. Like, it was pretty bad when you're pay high dollar for insurance in Florida and they tell you they're not going to pay for anything. And then you're like, okay, I'll just contact FEMA. FEMA gives thousands of dollars to everybody, right? Wrong. That's not true. I don't want to go there. But for me, the littlest things, because I was just in a constant fight or flight, constant. And, the pretty much lose everything in your home. You're just sitting, in a mess for years now. And it's like, it's very hard to stay in that mindset of money's coming, or whatever it is. So for me, gratitude was a big one. I would force myself to say at least 3 gratitudes a day. It could literally be, I love the way this tea tastes. Like, that was like how low I was. Or, going outside and it just rained, and I really love the way that the rain is like dripping off and the sun has come out, and that one little sparkle, that one little ray of hope. And it was just all these little things, and it seemed like I was never gonna get back on the other side of happiness. Breathing was a big, big thing for me. I actually, I've always been like a meditative breather, but because I stay in that state, I'm always like shallow breathing. So I really have to, I literally put on my phone to meditate and breathe like at least once a day, because if I don't, then I just don't, when you're in that space, that headspace, you can't remember to do the things that make you feel better. So I would literally write, wake up at this time, drive to work at this time, this is your work time, breathe, meditate, gratitude, morning gratitude, evening gratitude. I just constantly had to keep reminding myself of those things until they became so natural that I didn't have to have them on a checklist on my phone anymore. But the breathing exercise that helped me the most, and I forget what it's called. It's not any kind of meditative breathing or anything like that. It has a special name, but when you like ugly cry so hard that your body starts like you're doing that, like there's a word for that and I forget what it is, but that's like your body actually trying to calm your nervous system down to come out of that that escalated crying phase. So I do that a lot. I think I did it right before we came on the podcast. It's just natural for me now to do it. And I just take 3 inhales or more if needed. And then I do 2, and then I do 1, and then a normal breath. And then it just kind of helps me recenter myself. So I hope that's helpful for other people who are in that mindset. I will also say I had in the back of my bullet journal, I would flip it over, and instead of gratitude, I would call it wins, Lori's wins. And then I would just write like, somebody bought me lunch today. Somebody, at work complimented my work or something like that. And I would just write those so I could go back and revisit those things when I was in that headspace of why am I even here? Well, here's a whole list.
I have a gratitude journal from early on too, and it was 3 things I'm grateful for, 3 wins of the day. And then I would write it before I went to bed, and I would write something that I was calling in, and I would make sure that I did it right before I went to bed so that when I was in my theta state, right before I fell asleep, and I would remind myself to think of any of those things, but specifically the thing I was calling in, so that my brain could make it part of its DNA, so that the next day when I woke up, it was like, oh, this is here. Like I got my promotion that I was looking for, or whatever it was at the time.
Yeah.
And it was wild to see some of the things in that journal that were like, I love my bed. I love my dogs. Like I woke up, like I couldn't come up with anything more than that. And there were some times that I couldn't even come up with 3. It was so bad.
I know. I was there too. So yeah, start small. And then I came to a place where I was like, once I was doing that for a while, I was like, okay, so now I'm going to step into, I'm not going to repeat any gratitude. So it really started forcing my brain. And I mean, literally, this was over probably 6 to 12 months, like of just doing the 3 simple things and starting to come out of that. So I would say like, okay, well, I do really like the way this tea tastes, but I've already said that, so I can't say that again. So I'm really grateful that I can have this tea delivered by Amazon. Or I'm really grateful that I was able to drive to the tea shop and buy some of my favorite teas so I could enjoy it at home, because I don't want to be out in public with people.
Same, girl. No, thank you. Oh my gosh. That's funny, but yeah, the very accurate, very good,
Yeah.
very good examples.
All right. So I think this episode should be called Reframing Your Mindset. Because, and I don't think we need to talk about anything else today. I think that unless something else is on your heart, I feel like that was a lot for each level of person, whatever state they're in, because we have been in those lowest states. I'm in maybe like a low to medium state, and you're like a high state now. And we all want to come and meet Gail so she can be our coach or our specialist.
I'm definitely a money mindset specialist. I went so long without it and did so much intensive work around it. I can help anybody.
Yeah, great. Well, I can't wait to have you back. And I would love for people to comment and tell us like what they want to learn from Gail, because she is going to be coming back pretty often. So I love your messaging. And yeah, to answer that friend's question, like, I don't have to be in constant contact with someone to appreciate something that they've told me. And I don't know if you got a chance to watch the video from Friday, but that was one of the things or Sunday. No, yesterday. I've been working too much overtime. My days are all messed up. So no overtime today. But I was like, I just want to go back and like reminisce about the first 10 guests and pull like a nice little clip. And then so I just kind of watched the clips and then reacted to it. And I was like, the transformation really just since January to now for me, the way that I spoke, I was still in that dark space. And you can just see everything like changing slightly, getting more playful. My desk setup has evolved and like I don't know, I just loved it so much. And I went back and I was talking about you and I was like, yeah, we're gonna have Gail come back. We're actually filming this week, and I mentioned that on the video. So I just love that I have this tribe of women who are coming together and who want to share their hearts and help others. That's why we're here. That's why we went through the dark periods, and that's really been on my mind a lot this week. And that's a reframe as well. There's no reason why I'm here to let me have all the visibility wounds and jump on podcasts and tell everybody everything about me. Almost everything, but you know what I mean. Like, such a huge arc. And I hope my prayers and my intentions are that people can see our hurts and that know that we want to help them. That is our purpose. We are here to help. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's just a good wrap up. Like, people have to come and find us because we want to help them, right? Like,
yeah,
there's enough for everybody. There's no competition.
I saw a comment or something, what do you call it, a meme, and it was like, why did God put me through so much? And the response was so that you could go back and light the way for everybody else on their way out. And I literally was bawling. And I was like, I have never felt so seen.
Yeah.
Like, just my life was hard, but like, it's harder than some, not as hard as others, whatever. Yeah. But like the last 5 years were so intensive, like really difficult. But because I was doing the work on myself and not just putting the blinders on and just being like a sheep or whatever, the drone or whatever the word is, of just human not doing any work on themselves. And I just, the reason why gratitude stuck so much for me was because when you're in that tornado of chaos, you can't remind yourself, I have to ground myself. Because I've even said I have to ground myself, and I could never come up with, I have to go get a smoky quartz. I have to do my breath. And sometimes even when I did remember it, I was so triggered, I couldn't. So gratitude was literally the only thing that would calm me down enough to get me to the point where I could manage myself again. So you're so right.
Yeah.
You're so right.
All right. Well, Gail, we will see you again soon. I think we have another episode booked, and so you'll be back on in a couple weeks. And I mentioned this before, but this channel started as an accountability partner for myself, for my budgeting. And I don't remember how many videos I posted, but it was quite a bit every other week of me just cash stuffing and budgeting, and then me literally crying after the hurricane and being like, I don't know how I'm ever going to get out of this. And then I just completely stopped because that was the mindset. I'm never going to be able to get out of this. And that's not true. It was never true. And so I actually filmed a cash stuffing this week, and I'm going to post it. So, and put all my stuff back out there. I'm like, yeah, here's all my money and here's zero, but you know what? We're going to watch it come back together. So
congratulations.
I told you on the last time, I'm like, I'm telling everybody this because a year from now, when you and I are sitting back here, or we're sitting on a fantastic beach somewhere at a fantastic spa, having all the stuff done, I'm gonna be like, remember when I was crying to you that I didn't have a floor, I didn't have a toilet, I didn't have a shower? This is what you've done. This is how you've helped. And not only me, but everybody who's watching, if they take the advice.
That is the plan. Thank you for allowing me here.
I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here. You're just so inspirational, and I see your heart, and I love all your videos. And if you're not following her on Instagram, people, you need to go follow. She has multiple things going on. If you're into all the crystals, you can, yes, please. I need a crystal collection. Yeah, we'll post all her things there here in the description. So come back and join us on this amazing series. And again, if you have any suggestions for Gail that she can help you specifically, one person's issue is millions of people's issue. And that's part of it too, is that sometimes we just feel alone and we're in the shadows. And if you come out into the light and ask for help, then help will be given.
Yep.
All right, friends. Well, thank you so much for being here on our Money Mindset series with our special guest, Gail. We will see you again soon, and love to all.
Thank you.